About 6 to 7 years back, when I used to live more of my time in Himalayas, near the river Ganga or Ganges, was a period of my search where intensity was at very high level. Was fed up with the usual answers that we read and hear, whether it's the scriptures or it's the gurus and masters on the physical plane. It seemed to me that they were only playing a record. They were only telling a story. I was fed up, not in the start of the stories, because the start of the stories are very, a normal person, a normal seeker can identify with very strongly. But the endings, there was something in me which was saying, no, I need to find what is going on. I need to find out for myself, not with the experience of someone else, or the memory of someone else, or the knowledge of someone else, or the realization of someone else, but my own self. I need to find out what is the bottom line, or what is the truth, and if there is one. You hear lots of stories about how orange juice is and what is the health benefits and how does it taste like, what's the color, texture. But unless you don't drink it, you really don't know what is an orange juice. So unless you don't find out the truth yourself, or you don't reach or awaken yourself the state of Buddhahood, there is no way you have tasted the orange juice, or for that matter any other thing. So you have to do it yourself, you have to taste it yourself, you have to experience it yourself, and then conclusion is also yours. When you reach the point, when you are awakened into your perfect inner state, it's not that all the masters and saints come and give you a class on it, but is that you stumble upon it, you fall upon it, and when you fall upon it, you try to see it. Where did I fall? How did I fall? Why did I fall? Was I supposed to fall, or I just bumped into it? But whatever be the process of falling into your real self, or stumbling into your real self, the bottom line is how does it feel like? And the answer would always be the inner answer. It's not the answer of the mind, but answer of your instincts, your search instincts of, I would call, the central nervous system, which knows by so much experiencing it has gone through, that it knows almost spontaneously what it is looking for and what it's got. The matching happens almost spontaneously. And then what your awareness is at that stumbling on your own perfect state. I'm using the word stumbling because we are full of stories. The mind, the intellect, it's full of stories of other men or women who have attained enlightenment. But these stories are, it has always been, you've been the listener of these stories or reader of these stories. It was not yet present tense for you. There is a big difference between what actually happens or what actually happened to the being before he or she reached the spot or rediscovered the spot, and what is told as stories, as teachings in scriptures. That's why I'm using the word stumbling, because something so simple, so spontaneous, so much natural, that we keep missing it all the time, that we have to stumble upon it to find it. So I was in the stage of my search where the intensity was very high. I wanted to go to the bottom of things and find out by myself. I wanted to drink the orange juice finally. And a seeker has to understand that no matter how many years you have spent with a master or in a religion or a tradition, and you have practiced their teachings, unless you reach the last final stage where you want to taste, where you want to experience directly the truth, the bottom line, the core of the universe and your own self, unless you don't reach that point, you have not really been a student of that tradition, because your knowledge is not from your own realization but a borrowed knowledge, and borrowed knowledge has very, very specific and less use. It is only useful, a borrowed knowledge is only useful to survive in the world, to feel a bit of sense of security and peace or bliss. These big words, Satchitananda, and there is a train of huge words, Paramatma, that we get used to, that we are conditioned. And these words actually don't mean anything unless we have realized them ourselves. The real meanings of this word, the decoding of this word happens only at the point of your inner perfection. When you have stumbled into your point of inner perfection, or the place of inner perfection, or rediscovered it, you stumbled into it, you sort of started seeing why I stumble, and then there is spontaneously, there is a knowing which says, this is what I was always been looking for. And once you know that, yes, this is my spot, this is where I started and this is where I end, and this was always along with the start, the finish was always along with the start was always along with the finish, then you sort of start to understand all the meanings, the hidden meanings, start decoding these huge big words which you heard in the stories and the scriptures. But before that, it's just it's like a trained parrot, we are just trained parrots of religion and spirituality. Only when the parrot reaches its destination will it be able to understand what he or she is really saying or repeating. And that is also the problem why the storytelling in the scriptures and by the masters, or who claim to be masters on earth, is because in the whole lineage, in the whole tradition, only a few of their masters have really found themselves. The rest just heard the stories and believed in the stories. So, with the disappearance of realized masters in any tradition, what happens is the real knowledge, the real meaning of these words, the mystery behind these words, the decoding of these words, and actually what they mean and what we are, what the universe is lost. And what remains is only skeletons. What remains is only a very superficial or a very ornamental meaning of the mystery of life, the mystery of self, and the mystery of universe.